It's-a me, Aaron here. I have a deal for you. For the amazing low cost of $59.99, you can order one super shroom, which will make you bigger, faster, stronger, perfect for any princess you wish to rescue. And we even have an additional surprise box for you. For every $5 you spend, we'll throw in a box of random shit inside. It might be helpful, it might not, but you won't know unless you spend that money. You can also go to patreon.com/WithCessCastProductions. For less than the cost of our surprise mechanics, you can get exclusive content, early releases, and direct chat with the creators of the After Credits cast. Patreon.com/WithCessCastProductions. Think I'll go warp pipe myself over there instead of slitting this bullshit? Enjoy the show. Hey there, paisanos! It's the Super After Credits Supercast. We're the podcast crew, and casting's our game. We're not like all the other podcasts. Wait, what? Oh, I gotta redo that part. We're not all the others who get all the fame. Yeah, there we go. That's like the fucking intro of that show. Anyway, I'm your host, Aaron Waluigi, and with me today I've got Ryan Medario. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm laughing at this intro. No, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic.
I don't know if I'm going to edit that intro down to make me sound, like, good, or if I'm just going to keep all the bullshit in. I don't know. Whatever's funnier when I'm feeling it. We'll see. You can listen to our show on a variety of platforms if you haven't started doing so already. That includes Patreon, the place we would always recommend you go to. But if that can't work for you, we also run YouTube, Peepa, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, and other things that I am not familiar with because it got other places somehow. It happens. It's like a disease. Make sure you get yourself checked. Anyway, Ryan, are you ready to talk about today's movie?
I am. What do we have today?
Oh.
I can't guess from the name from the intro.
If you couldn't guess, oh boy, you're in for a ride. Welcome to our newest season, which will be our first jump into films based on video games. Because, let me tell you, there's so many video game movies, we could have probably done a year of these, honestly. Yeah. This season, we're pressing start with Super Mario Bros. The Movie from 1993, directed, quote-unquote, by Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton, and quote-unquote written by Parker Bennett, Terry Root, and Ed Solomon. There's a reason I quoted those, you'll see. The film has grossed a total of $20,915,000 worldwide, which isn't even half of what it cost.
Oof.
Don't be surprised. The cast includes the unfortunate souls of Mojo Nixon, Desiree Mary Velez, Fiona Shaw, Richard Edson, Fisher Stevens, Samantha Mathis, Dennis Hopper, John Leguizamo, and the late and great Bob Hoskins.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, there are no awards to be won here. What a shock. So let's triple jump over to some fun facts.
Oh, fun facts. All right. All right. So the first fun fact here, in his 2007 autobiography, John Leguizamo states that he and Bob Hoskins hated working on film and would frequently get drunk to make it through the experience. Both men apparently knew the movie would turn out bad, so they simply tried to make the best of it. He also stated he felt one of the biggest reasons the movie turned out the way it did was because the directors wanted a more adult, quote-unquote, movie, while the studio, considering the source material, was looking for a children's film.
Wait. So, this is the time the studio was right?
Holy shit. Next up, an article in Spy magazine claimed that the script was being rewritten so many times during production that the actors stopped paying attention to the daily rewrites. Oh, man.
This is like a treasure trove.
So last but not least, Dennis Hopper explained why he did the film. I made a picture called Super Mario Brothers, and my 6-year-old son at the time, he's now 18, he said, Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play the terrible guy King Koopa in Super Mario Bros? And I said, well, Henry, I did that so you could have shoes. And he said, Dad, I don't need shoes that badly. Jesus.
Fucking burn. Ugh.
He would rather go shoeless than have his father be in the movie.
Just wear some tissue boxes on your feet. It's fine. You're not gonna feel anything.
God.
So Ryan, the other day I texted you saying that I had I was having trouble finding good shortening my list of fun facts for the upcoming Spider-Man script I'm working on.
Yes.
Same issue here, except the difference is the fun facts in Spider-Man are actually like upbeat fun and like they're really cool stuff. Here it's just depressing as shit.
Golly.
Get ready for Spider-Man, guys. That's the next season. Be good times for most of it, some of it, part of it. All but 2 episodes, probably. I have seen this movie more times than I can tell you, Ryan. More times than I ever planned on. I don't even think it's really that good. Just tolerable. Interesting, but tolerable. That's what I got for you. That's my initial thoughts going into this.
Fair. I have seen this movie a lot because this was this was my childhood, honestly. 1993. Yeah, this was my shit. I like the nostalgia is baked into it thoroughly good. And despite the glaring problems that are inherent in this movie,
which are many,
the glaring problems in this movie, I still can't help but have fun with it when I watch it.
And I can't blame you. I can't blame you.
Yeah, it's one of the rare bad movies that I really enjoy, because usually I'm not one of those people that see bad movies for fun, but this is definitely one of those for me. Furthermore, I actually kind of respect them trying to throw so different a spin on it. They missed it completely, but I kind of respect them taking a shot at it. Right? So well, that's my hot take. That's my hot take.
Well, I will add a little colorful story here to this real quick. I watched this movie the first time when I was in my early 20s, and it was when I had a girl over, and we were doing some other stuff, and this was basically on the background. So I caught like glimpses of it at the time, and every time we get up from whatever we're doing, I'd see something weird on the screen, like, what the fuck is going on in this movie?
Yeah, this is a hilarious background movie to have on while doing extracurricular activities.
I don't know why we picked this. I think it was because we were also like going in between playing different Mario games because she was like into that or whatever, and so this was just on our list of things we had available. And like, sure, whatever, we could put this on, and yeah, that was an awkward choice indeed.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I got a synopsis for you, Ryan.
Okay, I cannot wait for this one.
It's the early 90s, and some Hollywood executives have gotten really high on shrooms one weekend when playing Super Mario games. They gave their pitch to Nintendo, who miraculously greenlit it, which was their mistake they lived to regret alongside the Virtual Boy and pissing off Sony just before revealing the combined Nintendo CD-based game system. The movie? Some plumbers with bad hygiene and the ability to fix things in ways that shouldn't actually work get dragged into a battle between worlds as some imitation neo-cyberpunk dinosaur world, led by someone calling himself Koopa, and a young woman holding a magic crystal. This crystal, the basis for the plot of this film, is the single piece of a meteor that cursed the dinosaurs into this separate dimension. When this piece reunites with the rest of the meteor, the two dimensions merge, and Koopa intends to take over the world with this convoluted plot. However, his henchmen are dumber than even Team Rocket, and are mostly unsuccessful in every attempt to kidnap one girl and fight one Italian plumber. Okay, 2, whatever. The girl, Daisy, gets kidnapped and imprisoned in a room with a CGI dinosaur, and not one of the good ones from Jurassic Park, which would be released a month later. To save her, the Mario brothers? Are they actually brothers? I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. The movie isn't clear on that. Anyway, the Mario guys travel through this bleak dino world full of people, because that's how evolution works. They get their jump power close to the climax of the film, Mario sexually assaults a large black woman to get a plot MacGuffin. And they mess with Koopa's de-evolution machine. Oh, and the guy who totally isn't Toad is doing a thing. The Mario people save Daisy, they defeat Koopa, and they have the nerve to leave us with a tease for a sequel that will never come because Nintendo saw the results of this trash fire and vowed off films for nearly 3 decades and counting. Also, there's a post-credit scene you likely didn't stick around for as a joke because about how the film became the Mario games. Yep, that's what happened.
Oh, God, Nintendo, I'm so sorry.
Really, this is probably one of the top 3 things they regret in their history as a company.
Yeah. But, I mean, if they didn't do it, then this wouldn't be in my like, baked deep into my childhood memories, so...
I mean, I still think the Wii U's better. Guys, you did good on the Wii U. Everyone will argue with that one, but I think the Wii U was great. Virtual Boy? Nah, that was a mistake. Don't do that again. Ryan, the Mario guys, are they actually brothers in this movie? It was... I had no idea... the age difference and the fact that they don't really look alike or anything... I don't get it. What are they?
Well, it was established that Mario essentially raised Luigi, but yes, they are brothers. Like like Mario is his older brother. It's his very older brother.
When I was in college, you just come out of mom's crack hole.
his twice his age brother.
Yep. He's middle-aged and Luigi's just graduating like fucking elementary school.
But you know what? I mean, fuck. Bob Hoskins, though.
Here's the thing. Bob Hoskins is a good actor, and if you had given him a good script, he would have been a good Mario, I think.
Yeah, I could see it. But you know what? Like, so as ridiculous as this movie was, I think Bob Hoskins' Mario fit what they were trying to accomplish in the movie. It didn't feel out of place. Like his Mario didn't feel out of place. It felt like a part of this ridiculous premise.
Maybe. Ryan, what is your history with the Mario series? I'm going to ask this in every game we do, by the way. What is your history with the Mario series?
Fantastic. So I didn't have a copious history with the Mario series because I grew up on Sega.
See, this is a real human, people. Sega is the way to go.
So yeah, I played a couple of the games. I wasn't huge into platformers. The majority of my experience with Mario comes from Smash. And from Mario Party, Mario Kart, like the more later, the later Mario games.
The spin-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as for me, my grandma, from her, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. So my step-grandpa, I guess is the way to put it, his daughter had an old NES that they just had in their house when we were kids. And so we'd go over there. And she'd already left the house. She moved on. She was old enough to be an adult and do stuff. So me and eventually my brother, we would go over and we'd play on that thing every now and then. It had Mario. It had the Duck Hunt Mario combo, and that was fun. I was terrible at it because platformers, the 2D platformers have never really been my thing. Which is why when everyone says Sonic 3D versus 2D, I'm always going to go 3D because I just like that additional like spatial awareness. Whereas the 2D games, for some reason my brain just cannot connect that. It just can't.
I don't know. I loved Sonic because of the speed and the momentum of it. So it was easier to like, kind of get into the groove. So that was a platformer that I could be about.
I hear you. The first Mario game I really got into, though, I would say, let's see, I really didn't get into the N64 generation much. I got into it late, and then the GameCube just rolled right out. So probably Mario Kart Double Dash was the first like full-on Mario experience I got into. I eventually got to Sunshine, then the party games, which I own all of them, regrettably. I own them all. The best Mario game for me, though, I'd say probably... I haven't played Odyssey. It's probably the best one, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So I'd say for me right now, I really do like Galaxy and 3D World the best, I think. They both offer enough unique ideas, and the co-op of 3D World's fun, but not altogether, like, cohesive. So it's got problems.
Yeah,
also,
I feel that.
Also, special shout out to Mario Maker. That's just a fun time. So Ryan, the acting in this movie, if you want to call it a movie, sorry. What are your thoughts of the acting in this movie?
Okay, so fuck.
It's gonna be one of those episodes, guys. Just...
I feel like I feel like the confusion in the direction and the fact that nobody was on the same page was evident in everybody's acting. I feel like they didn't really know how to direct these guys, and the actors were all like, oh, this is going to be a fucking nightmare, so they just kind of stopped caring a bit. I could definitely see that. The exception, I think, honestly, is Bob Hoskins, because he looks like he's having a ball. It was actually... It kind of surprised me reading the fun fact that he hated it, but at the same time, it makes sense that he was just, well, fuck it, this isn't going to be good anyway, so we're just going to have a blast. We're just going to do whatever. Oh my god.
I think that's what helps good actors really stand out, is that when they have this extra legroom, this extra freedom to just go wild with whatever the concept is, like... Look at Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. He was not directed, or he was not intended to be this big, bombastic, wild character. But because Johnny Depp wanted to go extra miles with it and do something with it, because he's like, well, this is going to be boring if I don't do something fun. Let's go crazy with it. That could have been this here. That could have been. But it didn't happen, so... You have to have the rest of the movie to support that crazy idea.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
I feel like some of the actors were just kind of there, and you could tell in some of them, it looked like they were just reading off cue cards almost during the filming, like, as they were talking. Like, it was just like, oh, hi, Mario, how are you today? Or, like, or whatever. And it's just like, it's weird. It's really weird, but when you look at all the rewrites and the direction problems, it's not surprising the slightest. Ryan? Is Super Mario a concept that could ever translate to live action? And if so, how would you do it?
So, let's think about this for a second. The game, Mario Brothers, is about an actual plumber traveling around a mushroom kingdom, jumping and stomping on native wildlife and soldiers to break into castles and save the princess, who surreptitiously is never in the castle he just finished ransacking. I don't think that can ever be made live action. I don't think you can ever get a 1-for-1, where it's just like, all right, we take the game, we put live people in it, and a lot of effects, and boom, there's your movie. I don't think it translates well to that, because I think the best part about the Mario games isn't the story. It's the game. It's the world. It's the ambiance. It's the music playing as you traipse around trying to get this platforming right, and you got to hit the Koopa just right, you got to pick up the shell, you got to hit the POW block, and then you got to time your jump just right so you can catch the top of the flagpole and get the most points. It's not it's not Mario sitting there contemplating how his relationship with Peach went wrong and like how he's going to make it up to her the next time he sees her. It's not that. So it's hard to translate that to an actual movie because you can't play a movie.
True, but I still want to argue it's possible. I mean, let's be fair, anything's possible. You really put your mind.
All right, so how would you do it then, sir?
Okay. So remember this: they've made a movie off the game Battleship. There's no story in that. So clear.
Use good stories. Use good movies.
There's Clue. They made a movie off Clue.
Well, that's a classic whodunit. That's a great story.
So what you do is you make Super Mario is a whodunit.
Into a whodunit.
Who killed this Koopa and why?
Maybe if you do something like Luigi's Mansion.
I definitely think if you're gonna translate Mario into film, you can't. I agree. You cannot do a 1-for-1. You have to take elements of it and tweak it in a way that works. I would say the best way to do it. First off, don't do an origin story. Origin stories are done. They're old hat. People have seen them and done them. If you want to do an origin, maybe do it like as a Mario telling people in a later film, or you kind of relive it, or you see like, it's part of the story, but it's not like the main thrust. You don't start with it either. You just start in the action. Start with the big adventure that really got him into this adventure, or start with like someone else getting into his adventure. That might be kind of cool, like how Luigi joins his bullshit or whatever. I don't know, but trying to figure out the plot would be interesting. I guess if you wanted to be more 1-for-1, you could pull from the Mario RPGs. Because there are plenty of those, and the stories for those are pretty bonkers, but also pretty fun.
That's fair.
The catch would be all the different power-ups of these games. How do you make them make sense in a film concept? Because in games...
That's hard, man. That's
hard. In games, it's simple. It's like, oh, hey, this gives me more of this. This just lets me do that.
If I catch this leaf in the air, it turns me into a flying raccoon. Yay!
So... What? You gotta figure out how to make that work, because any one of those power-ups could just be an entire movie if you wanted to. Like, there's a forest where all the leaves turn people into raccoons. How does Mario break this curse? That could be an interesting idea. But no one wants to watch that. They want to watch him fucking stomp on turtles all day. So, I don't know.
It's hard, man. Like, for an early video game movie adaptation... They picked, like, the hardest fucking movie to try.
Yeah, Guys, you should have done Zelda first. Should have done Zelda first.
Yeah, they should have done Zelda. But here's my thing, though. Picking the hardest movie and then trying to adapt all of these bonkers fucking off-the-walls concepts into something that people could accept in 93, I like... a lot of the ideas they came up with, de-evolving the old king into fungus, and then the old king is trying to retake his kingdom by covering the whole place in fungus and mushrooms. So it's the Mushroom Kingdom. That's interesting. That's halfway clever. Like, there are a lot of ideas that I actually really appreciated. The bob-ombs being little wind-up toys that they're just like, what the fuck is this? But then as soon as they bring it out in public, everybody's like, oh my god, he's got a bob-omb! I love that. The concept of the de-evolution guns actually just being like NES Super Scopes and actually like de-evolving him into like something at least closer to Bowser. That's cool. Like, a lot of it, 98% of it was not well executed, but the concepts were actually very interesting. So I applaud them for taking the swing. They missed, but I applaud the swing.
They took a swing, and it ended up not being anywhere in the same state they were in. That's how far they missed.
They completely missed. They whiffed. Fucking, they hella whiffed, but... You know what? They swung for the fences, so there's a part of me that will respect that.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be the optimist on this.
I know you have to be.
But yeah, I mean, I watched it again. I watched it this time around with Allegra, who also watched it when she was young, and she's just a little older than me. But we would take turns pointing out like silly ass things that were happening. It's just like, why do these plumbers know how to hack this police car? Why does this car have no fucking brakes? Why do you know how to do this?
Yeah, it's a little bonkers.
It was bonkers, but it was fun. It was fun bonkers.
I think if you're gonna make a Mario movie, you have to do one of two things. You have to either commit to the bit and go full-on psychedelic weird bullshit, it'd have to be probably like a PG-13 at minimum. Probably an R-rated. But like a fucking trippy-ass Nick Cage style, like, Leaving Las Vegas... Or not Leaving Las Vegas, but...
Oh, God!
No. I'm trying to think of the other one he was in. There's some other, like, trippy-ass... What's the Johnny Depp one? Vegas something?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah, do something like that with Mario. Like, with the mushrooms and all that bullshit. You could definitely get away with that for, like, an adult-oriented thing. But that'd probably be more of an indie film. If you want to stick to the kid version, I honestly think Mario works better animated. Without a doubt.
Mario Brothers, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But if you want to, like, really dive into some deep fucking psychedelic shit, I'm game for that. Let's bring some people in here. Let's get Nick Cage on the line. See if he could be one of the Mario Brothers.
God damn it.
Ryan, next question. Where is Waluigi?
He's in the sequel, of course.
Okay.
He's in the sequel. Of course, they would look into, like, they've already been playing with de-evolution, and they've already done the whole, like, oh, it's actually an alternate dimension. So that, like, they're like, what if another alternate dimension is discovered, and, you know, like, weird copies of the protagonists are starting to come out, and the main antagonists are, of course, Waluigi and Wario.
Ryan, where the fuck were you in '93? Why weren't you in Hollywood pitching this right now?
Because I was 3 years old. I was 3 years old and enamored with the dumpster fire that they put on my screen because I was loving it. It was hilarious to me.
So you're saying this movie is maybe ahead of its time. I get you.
Well, I'll say they definitely made it far too early. Even with what they wanted to accomplish, the technology was not... Well, no, the technology was there. It's just the people they had doing their animations and whatnot were on crack, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I mentioned that, and Allegra was like, hey, it was 93. They didn't have a whole bunch of technology. And I was like, babe, Jurassic Park
came out a month later.
I didn't even know it was a month later. That's so much worse. I was just like, I think it came out, like, I thought it came out in 92, actually. Like they did it beforehand. Yep. But instead, no, they just did it 1 month after. And like, is that the best you got, guys? Here, have some Steven Spielberg. Like, have some Steven Spielberg special effects that hold up 30 years later. Let's do it.
Let's do it. You heard him, guys. Let's do it. Ryan, what kind of plot device is that meteorite, and how does it even work? And why is rebuilding it more convenient for the villains than any other method of escape from Dino Hell?
Well, the convoluted plot would have you believe that the portal to merge the dimensions, or the portal that allowed limited access to the dimensions, didn't work until that area was starting to get blasted open. Why then, of course, was Daisy's mother able to escape and drop Daisy off in the human world? That's neither here nor there, but yeah.
Cagliostro, time traveled.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, the concept of Daisy's mom, the queen, not, like, wanting to keep the meteorite out of the hands of Koopa to, like, prevent the entire merging of it, so she hid it on the other side of the portal, which then again was sealed somehow, some way, and then reopened 20 years later.
I have a theory.
Alright.
So, I don't think this is true, but if someone working on this movie happens to listen to this, and I know the odds of that are astronomical, but if someone does, please let me know how off I am on this one. I have a theory that the meteorite was added into the film very late in the rewrites. I think it might have been one of the last things they added to help give it a semblance of plot. I think originally, and what would make the most sense to me, is the dinosaurs and all that stuff weren't in a different dimension. They were just in the sewers, like the mutants from Futurama, basically. And they lived, but like deep underground, like super subterranean, basically. And that's would make sense with the warp pipes and all that stuff. Like, it would really fit into the theming of Mario. But because that, for some reason, didn't track with the writers or directors or somebody in production, they had to add this in last minute to really kind of sell us on this whole, like, why the dinosaurs are even around or doing what they're doing. I definitely think it feels to me like a very last minute add-in almost, but I definitely feel like you could have really sold it, because you had all the aesthetics there for an subterranean sewer kind of thing. I mean, even the whole Mario Brothers underworld, like like that whole realm fits this really well, and it could have been really cool, but you guys didn't like commit to that fully, and you went with this instead, and it's just like,
So, because the set piece of the meteorite was so big and, like, expensive looking, and also because they were referencing it all throughout the movie, I think it was a main part of the plot from like a fairly early bit. I think you're just giving them too much credit, and thinking, oh, we're originally just going to do the portals, the pipes, and they travel through like magic pipes into this other dimension. Yeah, that's giving them too much credit. It would have been cool. That would have been very interesting. But yeah,
Ryan, you're right. How dare I give these people any credit though? What the fuck am I thinking?
I'll give monsters. Credit when credit's due, but that's too much credit.
You're right, Ryan. This is the idea I would have come with if I was writing the movie. A talented writer who is yet to be published, but will be soon. Find out more eventually, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, Ryan, I have another question for you.
Please.
Obviously, there are some things that were how did I write this? Hang on, let's see. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to be lost. There was a typo here for some reason. So obviously there were some things that were lost or mutated in this adaptation. What things made the most sense in the change for you, Ryan? And then what things didn't make sense to you? I think the wind-up bob-ombs make a lot of sense. I think
the wind-up bombs were really cool. I kind of liked the ideas of the super boots that gave them the super jump. Like, I thought that was interesting.
I would have liked them to be introduced sooner, though.
Yes, I definitely would have liked them introduced sooner. As much as I loved them, the Goombas made no fucking sense whatsoever. Nope. I loved them. They were so delightfully stupid. They were delightfully dumb. And Toad becoming a Goomba and still playing the harmonica with that stupid fucking grin and just Goombas just dancing. Like, I loved it. They absolutely don't make any fucking sense because they're supposed to be small enough that you can stomp on, and instead they're like, make them 8 feet tall.
Yeah. I when I saw them, they called them Goombas. I'm like, you mean Koopas? And they're like, no, it's Goombas. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. For me, I'm gonna say the Yoshi. I like the attempt. I like what they're trying to do. But when you remember that Jurassic Park is right around the corner, and their T-Rex makes this thing look like a fucking like doggy chew toy, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they got styled on. They got styled on with the dinosaurs.
Like, I don't remember. Did Yoshi really even add that much to the plot? Or was he just like a distraction, really?
He was just there to be Yoshi.
Yeah, I feel like you guys could have skipped that and saved it for a sequel. Since Yoshi didn't really get introduced until later Mario games anyway, that feels like something you would build towards, I'd think.
Yeah.
Again, assuming you make more than one movie. But that's just me. Next question, Ryan. Where was Waluigi?
What? So I'm pretty sure Waluigi was in the sequel.
Well, right. Ryan, what would the sequel have been like, you think?
I can't tell if you're trolling me or not. Cogliostro. All right. So I think I think in the sequel, since we've already introduced like crazy shit like the de-evolution gun, and we've already introduced the concept of there being an alternate dimension, why not have them be attacked by people from another alternate dimension where it's just like a crazy weird mirror world, and that way the primary antagonists of the sequel would be Wario and Waluigi, which would be like. It would be Bob Hoskins and, like, the craziest fucking makeup just saying, all right, so the weird shit you were doing as Mario, triple it. Go.
Do you need more alcohol, Mr. Hoskins? We can give
that
you more.
Man some more bourbon. Let's go.
I think, hear me
Mario!
out. Hear me out. You got the de-evolution gun. We already shown in this movie that people can devolve into monkeys. Ryan, Mario fights a big monkey. Why not have Donkey Kong show up in a sequel?
Oh my god.
He befriends him by the end of the movie, because guess who comes back after all for revenge? Hey, look guys, it's the Koopa again. So they gotta team up with Donkey Kong to take out the Koopa, and then they beat him again. Because that's how the villain works, is he comes back over and over again.
We can combine our two ideas. They find another alternate universe, one where they were, instead of evolving from apes and monkeys, monkeys just developed natural intelligence and actually rule the planet. Boom! All of a sudden, it's Planet of the Apes, and the main character is Donkey Kong.
That'd be pretty sick. We have to also keep it open for sequels again, obviously. And there has to be a post-credits that hints at King K. Rool. Because we have to make a Donkey Kong series after that.
Alright, fucking write it.
Greenlight it.
Write it up.
Nintendo, give me a call. We're ready. It'll be the 30-year sequel to Super Mario Bros. The movie. Ryan, who are we going to recast as Bob Hoskins? He's dead.
I don't know, man. Nobody can replace Bob Hoskins.
I mean, I'm sure we could find somebody. He's not Robin Williams level where, like, you can't replace his genie. You know, I think Bob Hoskins' Mario, as good as he was, can be replaced. If it was one of his other roles, I'd argue with you. But I'd see the argument. Here, we have some wiggle room. We have some wiggle room.
Maybe... I feel like his voice is too high, but maybe Josh Gad?
I like to hear his range. If we could get a good range out of him, I'd be okay with this.
Yeah, I think of him because of his comedic ability. He's fucking hilarious.
What about Seth Rogen? Get Seth Rogen and James Franco!
Oh, God. I would slit my wrists. Oh my god.
I mean, they're already high as it is. You might as well just get them on shrooms and we're good to go.
They're like, wait, is this an actual adaptation? Or is it just Seth and Dave just fucking around like they always do? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. Speaking of which, Ryan, could you tell when the actors are drunk in this film, or was it hidden/edited well enough to hide that fact?
I couldn't tell that they were drunk. I mean, with the exception of Bob Hoskins just fucking just having a blast, like him versus Koopa, like in that final sequence, like he was just having a fucking ball, honestly. So I could believe that he was drunk during then, but. Yeah, I think the rest of the movie was cut in a way, was edited in a way, with all the motion and all the like excitement of things happening that they were able to cover that up a little bit.
I could see maybe the dance scene where he's like on the like dance room floor with was her name Big Bertha? I could see that being him being
fucking never did I ever think I'd see Bob Hoskins grinding with this ridiculously tall black woman.
Look at him diving into those titties.
He was there. He was really there. Oh my god.
Yep. Hold the second to last question, Ryan. We're getting an Illumination animated, so the Despicable Me guys, the Minion guys, an animated Mario film in the near future. I don't remember if they have a date for it yet. Any thoughts? Any hype? Anything at all?
Well, it's Illumination. They've got a proven track record at this point with Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
They've proven they've got their comedy chops with the same series as well. And we talked earlier about how it definitely would exist better in an animated film. So I got a little hype for that. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I've got a little hype for that. Sure.
Yep. They announced it a year or two ago, and I'm waiting to see if anything comes of it. But I mean, from what I understand, it's still in production, pre-production, something in that phase. So that's the thing.
Maybe it'll be 2023 because Nintendo was like, no more movies for 30 years, and then we'll see. Like 30 years to the day, and then it comes out.
Yeah, that would be actually hilarious if they did like on the 30-year anniversary. That'd be ridiculous. Do it, Nintendo, do it.
Be like, hopefully you forgot the first time we tried this, so let's go.
I mean, like I said, they could have done Zelda, they could have done Metroid, they could have done Star Fox. Star Fox would have been pretty easy.
I don't think they had the technology to do any of those justice.
Maybe Zelda, but that would have been a very tough one still.
Yeah, that'd have been a hard one.
Last question, Ryan. Where the fuck is Waluigi?
Oh my lord, you are trolling the hell out of me.
Sakurai, hear me now. Put him in Smash. You have another character on this fucking battle pass. Let's make it happen.
You got him in Project M, right?
I need to get Project M back up and running. So the original SD card you played on with me, I had to reuse it for something else, and so I took those off temporarily. And then shortly after that, my hard drive, which had the main copies, like the backup copies, all gone. The hard drive got lost to bullshit.
Oh no!
So I've got none of it.
Damn.
That's technology for you folks. Back up your stuff in multiple places. Don't be like me. Don't lose your Waluigi. This episode is brought to you by our Patreon, patreon.com/WSScastProductions. And if you go there, you can enjoy our monthly content, including the monthly WSScast patron. You can also see our pre-roll podcast, which is just behind the scenes, us getting set up and everything. It's fun stuff. Usually we just goof around a little bit. Early access to episodes, and on the WSScast podcast exclusive show, you also can have us respond to your questions, concerns, comments. You can leave those comments down below. You can also go to Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook. We're on all those platforms. You can find us. Just Google us, Facebook us, whatever it is. And you can also email us directly for the time being. Ryan, what is that email?
That email is da da da. Da, da, da. Oh shit! Sorry, I got caught up in a dance. It is evacstation@gmail.com.
I'm gonna call it missed opportunity. They should have done the underwater theme for that one. Because it sounds close, but not close enough.
It's not romantic enough. It had to be romantic.
I don't know. You could make it romantic. Do something like that. I think something like that. I mean, don't do the underground theme. That one's not even close to romantic. It's like sexual. You can't do that one. So,
they should have remixed the underground theme for the dance club.
That would have been sick.
That would have been sick.
But to be fair, this is still a few years before dubstep. They couldn't have done it justice.
Fair. Very fair.
Let's close out with the review, Ryan. On a scale of platinum to shit and all the colors in between, this season's going to be weird because I'm going to make an argument, Ryan. Even the best films, and I've watched 2 of them so far that I think would qualify as the best, none of them I don't think are going to break silver.
Damn.
that's not to say they're all bad. It's just that none of them had that extra step to really be like gold or platinum.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in an episode or two. We'll see. For this one, though, Ryan, how do we rank this one? Like, are we going to rank it based on like its adaptation ability, as a film, as a video game, as a modern art think piece? What are we judging this on?
Well, I think we have to continue to judge the movie based on its merits and how good of an actual, movie it is. But I think we also, since it's based on video game source material, we also have to take into account how well it uses the source material. Like, is it trying to be ridiculously faithful to the source material? Does that detract from the overall experience? Did they just say fuck all with the source material? I mean, I think that also has to be taken into consideration.
Okay. So then, I'll let you take the lead here. Where would you place this one?
This is a bad movie, guys. This is a lovable movie for me personally, because I have memories of being 3 years old and like, oh my god, what's happening on my screen? But I can acknowledge my own nostalgia bias. I understand that me enjoying this movie thoroughly doesn't mean that it's a good movie. I applaud the attempt at creatively twisting the source material to a more modern time and trying to work with what they had, but nobody being on the same page regarding like the project, nobody like kind of meeting in the middle and actually like getting a cohesive idea of what they wanted to do, let this movie go all over the place. Had they picked one thing and followed it, it would have been much better than it turned out to be. I'm gonna give it a stone.
Ooh, stoning it up. Much the same reason. I'm gonna give it a pretty low ranking as well. I don't think it's shit though. Shit requires it to be offensive, and this is not offensive. Not at all.
I couldn't give it a shit rating when I had so much fun with it. Like, if you have fun with the movie despite it being a dumpster fire, then it's not shit. It's ridiculous.
But there is no consistent logic to it. It's all over the place. There's no Waluigi, and just
he's giving it a stone simply because there's no Waluigi, guys.
and elements of the story just don't work very well. I think as a distraction, as a background thing to do when you're doing other stuff, it's not the end of the world. But as like an actual film, it's paper thin. I'm gonna actually probably give it a dirt ranking.
Okay. Ooh.
And I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be rude. But it's tough to really give it anything more than that for me.
It's real. That's real.
Now, had Waluigi been in there, I might have gone up to stone or even bronze even. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see the director's cut when it happens. Yeah,
guys, the 30-year-old director's cut.
Guys, you could just do a McClunky like Lucas and just edit Waluigi in every scene. Super Mario Bros. The movie, the McClunky cut.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's see the McClunky cut. Let's get it.
Yep, let's do it. Thank you for listening to this fucking episode of whatever this is. Next week, you'll be listening to... Let me get my schedule up because we're doing a different episode next. You'll be listening to Detective Pikachu next week. I'm kind of excited for that one.
I'm excited to actually check it out.
Yep. I've always been a big Pokemon fan, so that should be a good time. We'll see. Well, I might be disappointed, actually. We'll see.
It's Ryan Reynolds. If anything, I have hopes for that.
Indeed. So tune in next week for Pokemon, and we'll see you after the credits.
Bye.